Kev, good to see you again in the blue tracksuit today. How's it been since Tuesday? What have you reflected upon?
Yeah, there's plenty to reflect upon. We're disappointed. We're still looking at over these things just now. Listen, it's one of them games. There's lots to reflect on, but at the same time, we can't get too carried away with it. It's a defeat in a game of football. That's that. But first and foremost, we'll take it upon ourselves as a group of players and staff and look to rectify it against which was a really good team, to be honest with you. So we'll be all right, and we'll still look over a couple of things in and out of possession still. Yeah.
You gave your immediate thoughts after the game from a perspective on the pitch. Were they consistent with what you've seen since, I suppose, from different angles?
Yeah. Nothing's changed, as we've said. We've probably, if anything, felt we could have probably done a little bit more in terms of little tweaks here and there, but that's part of it. That's part of kind of learning on the job and things like that. And it's we're disappointed because we went there to go and win a game, and ultimately we've came back with a heavy defeat and what's been our worst performance so far. So it was disappointing, but there's no overreaction from me. There won't be an overreaction from the players, and that's just the way it's got to be. It's just one defeat, and that's that.
Is it a new experience for you, given that you've been in this caretaker role, just to respond to a defeat with the players?
Again, I probably would say myself as a player, as a coach, don't really get too high, don't get too low, and I think that's probably the way you've got to be throughout the whole time. I've been that as a player. I'll continue that as a coach just now. I think it's one of them things. We got beat by a better team on the night, and that was that. They were at it, and we fell short of it on our own standards that we've set. And when that happened, it can be a recipe for disaster, especially as a team like that who were bang at it.
Yeah, obviously in terms of then preparation for Sutton, what have you been able to do in regards to that?
Yeah, well, again, today's a kind of recovery day as well, and you've got to get the lads back out there who missed out and who on the bench and stuff like that. So it's one of them days, kind of a catch-up day. We've looked over a couple of things, which Friday's the main day for things like that. Yeah. We'll look over it in and out of possession, look over it in detail, and things we can improve on, things we can want to continue to build on, because there was plenty of that. As much as the result didn't reflect that, there was plenty of things in that game that we were happy with. Not loads, but a few. We'll look more in detail into that analysis and stuff tomorrow, and then we'll be good to go come Saturday.
You've always been consistent that this is a short-term thing, but using words like building, do you feel like you're building something at the moment, forever how long it may last?
I think the whole process from the start was to try and build a team that can go out there and win games and put on performances and try and attack and kind of excite to an extent. And I think if you want to do that in a longer term thing, as a manager, every single manager, then you need to take time to do that. You need to find a way to do these things that aren't going to happen, these patterns and stuff like you've seen from them the other night. And this not going to happen for us in a short space of time. Yeah. To be honest with you, that's just not the case. Obviously, we had a kind of way of playing, and it's been successful, and we won't go away from that because we lost a game of football. But no, we want to build. What we want to build here first and foremost is momentum. We want to build an energy, and we want to build we want to just build a team and build a club and stuff like that, where we know where we can be, where we can go into each game thinking, listen, we're going to win this game, and that's the way we thought the other night. That's going to be the same again come Saturday. We're going to go in there to win the game, and that's what we try to build. We try to build confidence, build wins, that ultimately lead to the bigger goal, which is obviously a promotion in the longer term.
Yeah, and is part of that building process, from your perspective, leaving the squad in a state for whoever comes in permanently to pick up and go, right, this is in effect a blueprint that you can carry on with now? Again,
it's an awkward one, that, because you could bring in any sort of manager, bring in any sort of style. So I think it's a hard one to answer. But at the end of the day, in a shorter time, we're trying to put points on the board. That's what we're trying to do as a staff in there just now. We're trying to put points on the board and try to do it with someone the fans can be happy to watch and kind of be proud to watch and kind of get excited by. Against Wrexham it was that, against McDonald it wasn't that, for one reason or the other. So again, whatever manager then potentially may come in, then will have their own ideas for sure. So, but in that short term, we're looking to win. We're looking to win games of football, and not however we do it. That's how it is. We want to have a certain style. We want to play on the front foot, and we'll be back at that on Saturday.
Given the time that you've been in this role now, has it offered you an opportunity to think about what it will need from whoever comes in next, what they might need to have in their arsenal if they take on the role?
Yeah, I think it's. I think I know myself to an extent what's needed, and I think I've tried to put a little bits across like that. As I say, for a longer term thing, of it, I say it was myself, for example, and there'd be a lot more you need to then build. You need to do change things here and there. You need to put more into it, kind of in and out of possession, because right now we're working in certain areas, key areas where we could affect the game both in and out of possession, but that's got to expand to a wider area of stuff, and there's got to be a lot more depth and detail that goes into stuff. So in the short term, we've tried to kind of simplify things, but slowly, day by day, kind of put a little bit more into it. Yeah.
Are you still enjoying it? Is it still sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, like I get a defeat a game of football that night doesn't change anything for me on that side. I've enjoyed it. You know, I enjoy playing it the other night. I enjoy playing football. That's that. I'm paid to do that, and as I say, we fell short, but nothing changed on that side for me. I've still enjoyed it. As I say, it was a game of football that we fell below our standards we've set, and it was unacceptable from us, and we all know that. You know, if you can't look at that in the eye and say it wasn't acceptable, then you've got a problem in your own head. So on that side of things, it's one of them things that, as long as you can dust yourself down, as you say, confront failure, confront a defeat, then if you can do that and look positive and look beyond that and look to Saturday, then you're already a step ahead.
Obviously, Sutton are bottom. In your experience as a player, is there ever a good time to play a team, or can that be quite a naive approach?
I think, no disrespect to Sutton, I think we've got to go there and we've got to go and win. That's that. We're trying to get promotion. As I say, they're bottom league for whatever reason, you know, and obviously they're fighting for their lives, so they'll be absolutely up for it. But again, it's irrelevant. Their league position's irrelevant. The team we're playing, because if we don't do it right first and foremost, then you're in trouble straight away. Yeah. So I think for us, we got to go there. We got to get back to the standard we were at Wrexham in previous games, and to really take the game to them. And I firmly believe if we do that, we'll go there and win the game. But you have to do that. You have to earn the right to play. You have to defend. You have to fight for your life. And when you do these things with the group of players you've got, you're always going to have a chance when you do that. How
did Harry Chapman come through Tuesday? Obviously, good to see him back.
Yeah, he was all right. He would have been tired because we were chasing around the ball a lot, so he would have been tired for sure. But it was just good to get him back on. It was probably an ideal game for him to go back on, and you know, we wanted to get him up when we were winning and go and kind of show a bit on the ball and stuff. But that was great for him to be back. You know, probably the result, that's irrelevant at that time for Chappie coming on the pitch. He's good to get back on the pitch. It's been so long, and we know what he can offer as a player. So it was great to see him out there. Yeah.
How are you, team news wise, going into Saturday?
I think we're all right. Yeah. I think we're okay. Get rid of myself, we'll be all right. Yeah. No, I think we're all right. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing that I can think of kind of to report. No, I think we're all good. Maybe I don't know got anyone even injured before that's coming back. But no, I think we're all good. Yeah, Chappie took a step in the right direction, which is the main thing. But yeah, that's the main one really.
Yeah, and just on the longer absentee now that Harry's back, obviously Verdane, just how is he progressing?
We trained for the first full session today. He did. Found it tough as you can imagine, and what the session it was. So I'm not too sure on that how long he'll be, but he's took a step in the right direction today by training the full session and getting through it. And I'm sure he'll be sore tomorrow, but he done all right, and he's probably frustrated at certain elements of his training. But that's like there's nothing to be disappointed with. He trained really well for the first session back, so I'm not too sure in terms of time frames, but he'll be back soon enough, and that can only be a positive for the team.
And just finally, obviously a boost for you from a selection perspective that Richie comes back into the fray, as does Jamie.
Yeah, like I think like Richie and Jamie bring a bit kind of experience in that again, in a certain way. I think again, to be honest with you, I think like the other night would have been tough for everyone involved, like the way we were at it. So it would have been tough for everyone. But Richie, has been spot on since I've kind of came in and put him there, and he's done exactly what I would expect. And Jamie's obviously done well, and they'll come back into the picture, and will be good to get them back in the team, because obviously they've been part of what's been successful. I'm not saying they're the catalysts to it, but they've been a big part of it. It's been plain to see.
Cheers, Gav.
No problem.
In a way, can you use what happened the other night going into the Sutton game, and that this is what can happen if you don't take it seriously enough? They might not have won for a long time, but we've still got to be, as you said, really on the game.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say like kind of take it seriously enough. I think it's in terms of if you're not prepared, I'd probably say that. I wouldn't say prepared is the one either. I'm not sure exactly what the word is, but you've got to be at it. You've got to earn the right. You've got to you know, especially in a League Two, you've got to grind first. You've got to work you've got to work hard. You've got to keep chirping away until you get chances and stuff like that. And you know, we fell short of it in numerous different areas of the pitch the other night. But I think, them losing X amount of games or whatever it was, that was a team that'll go on to win a lot of football games if they play like that. But at the same time, I can assure you they'll also lose a lot of football games because, like we tried to plan, and like where we got our goal from will happen on a lot of times against them. But no, it's one of them. It's one of them ones It's one of the ones where we're just going back to we're just disappointed from our own point of view from the game that night, and it is, and you can see it in the players after the game and stuff, because we've set such a high, especially after the Wrexham game, to then go to that. It's one of them ones. So we know if you're not at it and bang right at it, then you could be on in the end of a heavy one, which we were.
And obviously the fans have an expectation that City are going to win for every game, but particularly for Saturday. Do you feel that as players and as coaching staff, or is that out of your mind? It's just concentration on what you've got to do.
No, I think if you want to be successful, you've got to go into every game thinking you're going to win football matches. That's how the best teams in the world do it, and we're no different. You need to go there and don't expect to win. You're kind of putting them a little bit down, but we need to go and win there. With the players we've got in there, we should go there and we should dominate. And yeah, we want to go and win football matches. That's exactly what our aim is. As soon as we go on that pitch, we want to win every game. And if you've not got a belief in you that you're not going to do that, then there's a problem straight away. So we're trying to get a belief into the lads, which they should already have, that when we're at it, we're really good. When we're off it, we're not so good. So we know we need to be at it, and if we are at it in every aspect like we have been previous, then we'll have a good chance to win the game, that's for sure.
Thanks, good luck.
So, Kev, the reaction you've seen from the players, obviously after Saturday, everyone's bouncing from Saturday, and then after Tuesday, it's all a bit flat. I mean, have you sort of been encouraged by the way you've sort of seen the response? Yeah.
Again, everyone's flat after any sort of defeat, but especially in the manner that we got beat was obviously the hardest thing to kind of take. But like me, and I hope not these lads kind of take example from me as such, but at the end of the day, we're falling short in a game of football. It was 90 minutes where we were off it. Ultimately that is what's happened. It's not a cry. There's no crisis meetings like that. We played poor in a game of football. We played good previous 4 games, and that's what they got to take confidence from, because we all know individually and collectively, me as a player, me as a coach, we fell below it. That's it. So I think as long as the players confront that and they can see individually, they don't try and pass blame, they accept it, like myself as a player first and then myself as a coach, I'll confront being below par, us losing, no problem whatsoever. But I know on the flip side of things, I've then got a positive mentality to move forward, and come Saturday, and playing or not playing myself and as a team, that you've got to move forward, because at the end of the day, that's gone now. You can only move forward and keep moving forward, and if we win on Saturday, it's the same. If we lose on Saturday, it's the same. We keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, it's a long season, and it's not just 1 or 2 games that define your season.
So it's sort of that sense of perspective is important. As you say, the progress that the team's made in the previous games shouldn't be sort of forgotten about just because of, say, one bad night.
Yeah, it's hugely disappointing. That's the one thing I don't want people to get away from that. It is disappointing. There's no hiding from that. We're not trying to hide from that. We were disappointed. Every individual and collectively, we were disappointed. But on the grand scheme of things, since we kind of came in, it's been successful. That's that. It has been successful, it's plain to see. But yeah, you can't go away from that. You've got to look at the positives. The players' reaction again today in training was spot on. And we go Saturday, we dust ourselves down, we prepare properly again tomorrow, like we did the other day, and if we do things right, we buy into all the things what we've done previous, then I say we won't be far away on Saturday.
And obviously, being it was the first defeat you've been sort of involved with, I mean, in terms of the conversations, is it slightly more awkward within the dressing room, because obviously, you can't, I'm not sort of saying criticising individual people, but obviously there's got to be sort of a bit of straight talking after a disappointment like that.
I mean, there is, at the same time there is, but I don't need to go in there and shout and bawl for people to understand we were below par. As I say, you have to confront that yourself. You have to understand individually and collectively we were poor, that's it. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, could I have done this, could I have done that? Yeah. Did I do certain things well like everyone did? Yeah, they did. But I'm not really one to go in and shout and bawl to an extent like that after one kind of poor performance. There's pointers to be made, there's things that have to be said, but I would never go in to this group of lads, any group of lads at this moment in time, and start kicking up a fuss because everyone's bought into what we've been trying to do. We fell short probably from our side the other night. That's it, from coaches and as a manager, we probably maybe set them up wrong at times and could be changed and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. So the blame's with us, and I've got no problem taking that blame.
to ask you also about Alex Patterson. Is he getting closer?
He is, yeah, he is. But I think Pat was still a few weeks away, and of course, with I'm not sure. I don't think it was a re-injury of it, but it was similar areas or so. I think so. I think you just got to be a little bit more careful with that one. Maybe take a little bit extra time, because Pat was crucial for us at the start of the season, and yeah, we have missed him. But I think it's just ones like physios and fitness coaches would be careful with him. Yeah.
As you said, there was a player who was flying, wasn't he?
He was. And it's disappointing for him first and foremost. You know, he was done really well at the start of the season, and potentially knowing Pat of the way he is, we were potentially a bit eager to get back on the pitch, which everyone is, and ultimately it's probably cost him and obviously us kind of dearly as such. But that's not on him. That's just him as a person. He wants to play football. No one wants to be in the treatment room, and Pat will be back soon enough, and hopefully continues in the same form as he did.